Good morning, Israel. Good afternoon, India. I thank everyone on the platform for joining this meeting called the Israel Aquaculture Collaboration Webinar. And I welcome you all. And I now give the floor to Mr. Joseph Avraham, the Consul for Trade and Economic Affairs, to give an inaugural address, please. Mr. Joseph, to you, please.
Thank you, Vishala. A few words on myself and my office, if you don't mind. My name is Joseph Avraham. I'm the Economic Council of Israel in Bangalore. I'm responsible for 5 southern states. I'm here with my colleague Vishala, who is responsible for the sector of Aqua, in particular, among many other sectors, agro, water, health, HLS, and others. The Israeli Economic and Trade Mission in Bangalore is located within the Consulate General of Israel in Bangalore and serves as an export promotion mission for the Foreign Trade Administration of the Israeli Ministry of Economy and Industry in Israel. Our mission here is to promote, enhance, and facilitate trade and investment between South India and Israel, and to build strategic business partnerships in collaboration between our companies in both countries. Our objective here is to assist Israeli exporters who would like to work with Indian companies and to provide pro bono scouting services for Indian companies looking to find Israeli technology. We arrange business seminars, B2B meetings, delegations to Israel and to India. We participate in global and domestic business events, and we use this online platform to promote Israel industry. Our partners are usually, or our main partners are usually the Israel Export Institute, the Innovation Authority, Startup Central, Manufacturers Association, Federation of Israeli Chamber of Commerce. Today, our partner is the Israel Innovation Institute. We have here Roni, Sussman, and Keren Almoznino, who will say a few words. I am not going to take up too much of your time. I think the most important thing will be for our distinguished guests from India to give you guys an overview of the industry in India, where it stands, and how we could do business. So I will now give the floor or the mic to Keren and Roni to address the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy. Good morning, everyone. I'm Keren, the Community Manager at AquaculTech. Welcome to our webinar on aquaculture business opportunity in India, organized in a collaboration with the Economic Trade Mission in Bangalore. Thank you for joining us to explore the potential of the Indian aquaculture industry. Today, we will hear from experts about market potential and more. Let's dive in. Roni, please take it from here.
Thank you, Keren. I'm sharing my screen. So, hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Keren and I are representing the Israeli biotechnology and aquaculture community, AquaculTech. The community is a joint venture, a non-profit organization of the Israel Innovation Institute, the Ministry of Economy and Industry, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development that recently turned to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security of Israel, and the Israel Innovation Authority. It's a platform to boost biotechnology and aquaculture locally and globally to connect all stakeholders in the aquaculture and biotechnology. We're creating an innovation ecosystem that benefits from networking, knowledge sharing, and dealing with challenges as one. So we are the team, Keren and I, together with Efrat Kadosh, that responsible for the ecosystem development, and Keren is the community manager. And our mission for 2024 is to connect and map the ecosystem in Israel, map the challenges, the global challenges, promote the members globally, and to create economic growth and food security in Israel. We are representing, in general, 25 research institutes in Israel, 32 farms of fish mostly, novel alternatives for food from the ocean, 11 seafood companies, technology developers, 3 coral companies, 42 suppliers for technologies in general for aquaculture and biotechnology, and 27 algae companies. In Eilat area, we have the Israeli Innovation Center for Biotechnology and Aquaculture. This is the team, and the Innovation Center is aimed to help startups from the idea in the very beginning of the company. You are welcome to connect us, and we'll connect you to the Innovation Center if it's relevant for you. And thank you very much all for being here, and we'll go ahead and start.
Now I request Dr. Tarun Sridhar, I.A.S.
Now, at the outset, let me make a disclaimer that I'm rather dated as far as the entire sector is concerned. Although I've been very closely involved with this sector for nearly 7 or 8 years at the highest policy levels, so I do have a bit of understanding. And I could give you some perspective. But however, the data and information and the figures may not be at my fingertips at this stage. You see, if you look at the publication which the FAO brings out every 2 years, that is the state of fisheries and aquaculture, it has always projected a very peculiar picture as far as the growth of aquaculture and capture fisheries is concerned. The graph of aquaculture growth has always shown an upward trend, while the capture fisheries over the last 1 decade or so has rather been stagnant or registering a very minor growth of 1% or so. There is some disturbance. Am I clearly audible? Or? Okay. Now, however, as far as the Indian subcontinent is concerned, the situation has always been reversed, and aquaculture has by and large dominated the entire fish production chain. So I would say that aquaculture has been a traditional hereditary activity in this part of the world and is not an occupation which has evolved as a matter of business choice for various people. It has been a traditional activity, so we have a very strong native wisdom and native practices which govern the aquaculture in this country. If you leave aside China, then India and Bangladesh produce bulk of the fish through aquaculture in the world. In fact, more than 90% of the aquaculture production in the world is contributed by Asia, and more than 50% of that belongs to China. So it's just to reinforce the fact that aquaculture has been here since centuries as a traditional vocation of the people. Now, the aquaculture scenario could be divided into 2 parts in this country. One is the brackish waters aquaculture, which is primarily dominated by shrimp culture. That is what adds value to the entire aquaculture industry. And that is what constitutes bulk of our exports. In fact, more than 90% of the exports in terms of the value is the shrimp exports. However, we are predominantly a freshwater aquaculture country. And this is something which we need to reinforce and remind ourselves, because we tend to forget. And in the larger business interest, we are focusing only on shrimp. We are 87% freshwater aquaculture, despite the fact that we are also a coastal country having a coastline of more than 8,000 kilometers. As I said, more than 87% of our fish production is from freshwater aquaculture, which means it has a very low environmental footprint. It is dominated, the major species which dominate the freshwater aquaculture are Indian major carps, which is a native species, very healthy species, very nutritious species, and very high on high quality protein. Katla is the major component, followed by rohu and mrigal. These are the 3 Indian major carps which dominate the aquaculture. Supplemented by grass carp and common carp. Grass carp was native of Hungary and it came to India from Hungary, but now over a period of time it has got indigenized. And then we have Chinese carps. So this is basically the bulk of freshwater aquaculture which exists in this country. I would say most of this aquaculture is organic. And when I say organic, it is genuinely organic. It is not something which is labeled as organic. But I'm talking of only freshwater aquaculture, not the shrimp aquaculture. Freshwater aquaculture is largely organic, and a large section of this aquaculture is also non-fed aquaculture. That is the fish which is in the pond, they feed on the natural resources and the natural food which is available. One very interesting thing about the aquaculture sector in this industry is that this in the entire food production sector, food production industry and the food production chain, this is the only sector which over the last 4 decades has been consistently registering a very impressive growth of nearly 10%. The entire fishery sector in this country has been growing at over 7% over the last 3 to 4 decades, with aquaculture consistently registering a double-digit growth each year. So this is what the strength of Indian aquaculture is, apart from what I said, it being highly environment friendly and not having leaving much of carbon credits behind. Secondly, it's a small-scale aquaculture. It has not grown to an industrial scale. So by and large, the business practices and the farming practices remain ethical. And it also provides not only livelihood, but very cheap nutrition in terms of the fish protein to a large section of our populace. Having said that, if we have to now catapult the sector into a much larger business venture or to an industrial scale, we have to address the severe constraints the sector functions within this country. One is the problem of good quality broodstock and good quality fish seed. We are still sourcing all our seed, bulk of our seed from the wild, and it is that seed sourced from the wild which is then taken by the hatcheries to multiply and produce further seed. So obviously, the quality takes a beating because of lack of any scientific or research inputs into the development of that seed. Second is, since it is a non-fed aquaculture, productivity is rather low. Unless the issue of good quality seed supplemented by a good quality feed is addressed, the productivity levels would remain rather low. Thirdly, it has traditionally been dominated by the Indian major carps and the common carps. However, the globally traded species such as tilapia or some catfish need to be introduced. We have introduced tilapia, however, we have not been able to take it or scale it up to a level wherein it becomes a big venture. These problems could be addressed by any collaboration because India too has a very strong research and development as far as the entire fisheries and aquaculture sector is concerned. We have a Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, which has probably the best of scientists and resources. We have a Center for Brackish Water Aquaculture. We have a Center for Fisheries Education. We have a Center for Marine Fisheries. What I mean to reiterate is that we have a very strong support of academic institutions as also dedicated research institutions in the public sector funded by the government. And in fact, they have also made a significant contribution to the spectacular growth of aquaculture in this country. However, it is still not been able to address the issue of low productivity, which plagues our aquaculture sector. And considering that we are probably the second or the third biggest, I don't know, till recently, I thought that we were the second biggest aquaculture producing country in the world. But now I'm told probably Indonesia has overtaken us. But however, which we are not in a race right now. Since we are very big in terms of absolute production, once we address the productivity issue and scale up our productivity, even by a little percentage, we could actually be producing twice the fish which we are producing today. Because we may be at the top in terms of absolute production, but we would be somewhere at the bottom in terms of productivity per unit or productivity per hectare or productivity per acre. And that is where any collaborative effort could be mutually beneficial. Second is the issue of water management. That is something which is not our strong point. How to optimize the water resources, because there are competing sectors as far as the usage of water is concerned. How to integrate water management into aquaculture and how to ensure that with less you could produce more. So these are the few issues which our aquaculture sector could definitely do with. But as I said, the projections and the scenario building shows that the growth of aquaculture sector over the period, over the next few years is likely to remain in the double digit. And the overall fishery sector would be to the tune of between 7 to 8%. So the going is good, and it could be still better. It could be still more spectacular if we were to utilize our resources more profitably, and if we were to infuse emerging technologies into our aquaculture sector. Because at the end of the day, we are not mass producers. We are producers by mass. We are huge in terms of production because our size is huge, our population is huge. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, but I would be too glad to answer any queries or any questions, or maybe if I can give any information, or maybe I would be happy to gain something from your inputs and from your wisdom and experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this insight, giving us an overview about the Indian aquaculture industry. We apologize that we didn't give you a profile about you. I mean, sorry, and Mr. Joseph Abraham will just give a brief profile about you. Mr. Joseph, to you.
Yeah, sure. Dr. Sridhar, please allow me to give a little CV of yours. Your CV is extremely extensive and intensive in what you have done. So please allow me to please allow me to mention it. Dr. Sridhar is a distinguished former Indian Administrative Service officer with a career spanning from 1984 to 2019. His expertise lies primarily in the fields of agriculture, animal husbandry, fisheries, and rural development. He is a prominent figure in these sectors in India. I just would like to mention a few key contributions that he has made. It's technological advancements, ministry creation, disease control, fisheries sector, and dairy development. You will forgive me for saying, but his activities are so long, they cover 2 pages. I don't think so I have even the time to read them all.
I think you can leave it there. It's a bit of exaggeration or maybe full of lies.
Okay, I will do that with your permission. So with your permission, we will go to the next speaker. With your permission. The next speaker is Dr. Haribabu Punati from the Andhra Pradesh Aqua Industry. We'll give you an overview on the market potential, challenges, expectations to scale up the Indian aquaculture industry. Dr. Haribabu, with your permission.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for the introduction given about India by our respected senior administrator at the Indian level, Dr. Sridhar sir. And my given topic is on the overall view of aquaculture industry market potential. Yes, definitely, this is a summary at a glance, and India is producing both the inland sector and marine sector. And the inland sector is dominating in terms of aquaculture production, followed by shrimp aquaculture. Carp culture, predominantly in inland aquaculture, it is taken care by carps only. And nowadays, in Andhra Pradesh state, like Andhra Pradesh, Pangasius species, that catfish category and Paku category are now slowly taking over the carp culture sector, whereas carp culture sector is spreading to other parts of India. And coming to this, am I visible, madam? Slides are visible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So this, if you see these things, Andhra Pradesh state is dominating in terms of its production, and followed by West Bengal only. Whereas this production, whatever is produced, is not for the local consumption. It is mostly going to the northeastern region of India, and these are all predominant this without any government support. During 1980s and 90s, farmers started taking advantage of agriculture over agriculture to aquaculture. Now, government of India, every government is promoting aquaculture as a source of income, better income than agriculture. And the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is the key player in promoting aquaculture. Other parts of India, particularly this Haryana, Rajasthan, Punjab, and all these places are encouraging aquaculture, predominantly this Chhattisgarh, these places. Coming to this infrastructure available, basically aquaculture predominance or industrialization of aquaculture or commercial scale of aquaculture given by shrimp aquaculture only. Today, this shrimp aquaculture is blessed with a lot of infrastructure in terms of seed production, or as well as feed production or processing technology. I am representing this Deepak Next Gen Feeds. We are producing nearly 5 lakh tons and 15,000 tons of processing capacity. Recently started this processing capacity, and feed manufacturing capacity. We have both for shrimp pelleted feed and floating fish feed. Together, we are nearly producing 5 lakh tons, and we are #1 in floating fish feed sales in India. And the figures to give you about this shrimp production in India. Total 2021, it was 9.3 lakh tons. Total out of 9.3 lakh tons, Andhra Pradesh alone contributed 6.7 lakh tons. This gives the impression that what is the dominance or lead it is given by the state of Andhra Pradesh to the rest of the country, followed by West Bengal. And the first state and second state, the production levels are totally at a alarmingly gulf. And Andhra Pradesh is predominantly both in terms of inland aquaculture, shrimp aquaculture. It is playing a lead role. Coming to my point of interest in this context for this today's webinar is, no doubt the government of India is giving a lot of significance to aquaculture sector. And since 1995, 2000 onwards, government of the Andhra Pradesh sector, Indian aquaculture sector is producing to major players, Japan and USA and European Union. What I'm trying to say is this processing technology is of world-class level, but recently there are significant changes were given importance given to value addition only, and we are exporting only frozen shrimp only. So in coming years to come, brand value to gain more from this value-added product, and definitely industry is taking its shape towards that line only. And Empada is also supporting the activities to summarize this dominance of shrimp aquaculture in India compared to the global level with the recent information provided. It is #1. It is in terms of stocking density, in terms of FCR values, it is gaining more. The farmers are very perfect in technical understanding. Whatever knowledge, whatever technical information available at their doorstep, they are making use of the information. They are trying to produce the best with FCR, food conversion ratio, nearer to 1 or less than 1.5. More in Andhra Pradesh, most of the farmers are producing shrimp at an efficient FCR of 1.2, around ±1. Apart from that, India is doing its prominence in terms of yield also, but disease continues to play a major role. My point of interest here is Indian Aqua Inputs, the health sector, healthcare products, business, lot of business is going on in India on par with the global level. And this healthcare sector, my area of immediate concern is understanding the water quality both at intake level and outlet level points, so that amendments with the probiotics is the order of the day, and we are more listening to our farmers are practicing this zero water exchange and probiotic technology. They are digesting more, but still it is not standardized. So we want to have more interaction with the Israeli experts on popularizing utilization of minimum water with the intervention of probiotic, just like in it is in practice now. So where that intervention is required, and in Indian level, and in all over India, we are having a diversified system. Some in Andhra Pradesh, state like Andhra Pradesh, we have predominantly monoculture or little of biculture with the 2 species or 3 species. Bioflak, I'm mentioning about bioflak system where we can refine this bioflak, we can popularize this bioflak technology for further profitability. Polyculture, integrated multi-trophic aquaculture is not so popular, but at some places with intervention of this partnership with the Israeli government, we can enrich this bioflak technology as well as integrated multi-trophic aquaculture system from this monoculture. So coming this total seed product in terms of inland aquaculture, as mentioned by Tarun, Sridhar sir, we are self-sufficient. We are comfortable with seed production technology, mainly It was initiated by way back in 1988-90. Single laboratories Canada Overprim. It helped Overprim added to this Chinese technology or eco hatchery technology. It helped a lot in India. So we are producing sufficient quantities, but the problem is genetic constitution or the quality of the animals or broodstock is needed. So conversion of egg to spawn conversion, spawn to fry conversion, fry to fingerling. These conversions are taking maximum losses, or what I mean, germplasm is not properly utilized. There we can have some intervention if required, if available. Extended period of maturation is also need to by the partnership. Then feed quality and health, it is known. Live seed transportation requires some attention. If that is done, we can cater to the areas of new areas of fish culture. This is the statewide fish seed production technology. What I mean to say, India, though it is diversified in terms of a potentiality, a lot of rivers are there, reservoirs are there. We can enhance productivity. Tarun Sridhar are also mentioned about low productivity of the aquatic water systems. One more tip area is the potentialities for domestic market with a lot of population. We can, and it is restricted to 10 kg fish consumption per year is limited to 6 or 7 states only. Other states, there the people are changing their feeding habits. We can have one more potential area under domestic consumption. National Fisheries Development Board really playing a role in terms of enhancing the cryopreservation techniques, genetic exchange in between farms, but this needs to be popularized among the remotely located farmers. Wetland fisheries, seaweed cultivation is one area where we can help the productivity or ecological aspects. This again, there is a lot of infrastructure available in terms under the National Surveillance Program for Aquatic Animal Disease. A lot of investment gone, a lot of expertise is now available in terms of personal as well as equipment, where we can help by taking advantage of this NASPAD program for further refining the technology and popularizing the technology. Reusing wastewater from fish farming is a need, and definitely this is one area where we can help the farmers or a shrimp industry, processing industry for value addition of shrimp waste. And with that, I take this opportunity to summarize the potentiality of the industry. It is industry infrastructure, a lot of industry infrastructure is available. With the fine tuning, we can deliver better results to the not only for the export oriented sector within the farm gate prices. We can reduce the cost of production to sustain international competition. So with that, I want to thank particularly the management of my company. Thanks to Joseph Avraham Garu and the Israeli team at that Banglor office. Special thanks to Team AquaX India, and thank you all. Hope I have delivered whatever I am expected to deliver, and thanks for that. Thank you.
Samir Patra is an internationally acclaimed brand communication and business strategist for over 30 years of experience in the UK, USA, and India. He's the co-founder of AquaX India, Fisheries News, and LDF India. He has spearheaded initiatives in the fisheries and aquaculture sectors and developed innovative strategies. He has provided guidance to numerous global businesses, government, startups, and top management across a diverse range of industries, including government, retail, tourism, and technology, healthcare, publishing, real estate, hospitality. He has done everything, it seems. His areas of expertise span brand development, marketing, competitive analysis, business and trade collaborations. Mr. Patra has advanced the fisheries and aquaculture industry in India through his work with AquaX India, Fisheries News, and LDF India, and he has created the platforms for growth and sustainability. He continues to drive advancements in the fisheries and aquaculture industry, including business strategies for companies in the UK, Europe, and the USA. Mr. Patra, as I said, it's great having you again. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Avraham. That was quite an elaborate introduction. I appreciate that. Hello, Vesala. Good morning, Israel, and good afternoon, India. So as you might have heard from Dr. Sridhar and Dr. Punati, that India is quite a diverse country focusing on fisheries and aquaculture. So I'm going to just represent today about what I do and what my organization does today. And we'll be open to any discussion further today and even in the future through the Banglor trade mission of Israel. So let me just try to present to you the slides. I come from an organization called Aqua India. This is the leading event focusing on the India's currently $15 billion industry, and it is supporting about 28 million jobs. So Aqua India is the largest platform which is integrating all the stakeholders under one platform. The overall idea for the current government is that to increase the growth of Indian fisheries and aquaculture to 27 billion by 2030. And as you could see from the graph that, about 40 years ago, it used to be about 5 billion, and we are expecting 30 billion by 2030. So there is a huge scope in Indian aquaculture systems. And of course, because it is such a huge country, and with 28 states within the country itself, and every state mostly having aquaculture as a practice. So the scope is quite large. As the event, as the expo, we try to kind of, bring most of the stakeholders, looking at the farmers, looking at the production, processing, technology, trade, also looking to the sustainability work. We closely work with the governments and also the private sector. The event has two different concurrent positions. One is the trade expo itself, where most of the businesses, manufacturers, exporters come participate and exhibit their businesses. The second one is the technical and knowledge seminar. Through this, we bring in a lot of international and domestic scientists, practitioners, farmers, people who are expert in this area to continuously contribute towards the growth of the industry. So there are two events. One is the Trade Expo and the conference. They both happen at the same time together. Overall, since last 7 years, we had done 7 editions of this event. It's called Aqua India. Mostly it is all done in Hyderabad or in Andhra Pradesh. At an average, we have about 21,000 visitors over the 3 days of the event. And the conversion ratio of the business is between 35 to 45%. We also have a huge participation from the academia scientists and the university students. We also have new products being launched through this event. The companies wait for this event for the product to be launched for the successful audience. And we also very closely work with the state and the union government departments, various departments like the Fisheries Department, Ministry of Fisheries, and then we also work with the Ministry of Food Processing and Ministry of Trade and Commerce as well. So as you could see that, we have about, Department of Fishery in Telangana, and we have Society for Indian Fisheries and Aquaculture as our partner. HITEX is our event and venue partner. We also are supported by the union government, the Ministry of Animal Husbandry, Dairy and Fisheries. And on the right, you could see that, there's a lot of association, as Haribabu was saying, MPEDA, NFDB, ICR, all these major bodies India has, they are all the part of the event. The focus of the event is to integrate everything and to the overall growth of fisheries and aquaculture in India. We provide the platform for most of the stakeholders to come and do the trade. We focus on trade as well as the knowledge part of the domain. We try to look at the basic activity of the expo is to build network. So build domestic network as well as international network for the overall growth. We also facilitate startups and a lot of technology companies with the innovative approach towards the cultures and practices. We invite them to train, give demonstration to our farmers and practitioners. We also look at how it can actually help India's vast employment prospect. So the primary objective of the event that we have had feedback since last 7 editions, that most of 25% primarily they come for finding new customers, and about 20% trying to get taking orders or direct sales, 20% showcasing the products and services, and 15% about connecting with an existing market customers. Now we have this new technology and startup services, introducing new products and services and technology as well. And also 5% we look for the international joint ventures. Last 3 editions, because I couldn't put all the 7 editions together, as you can see that at an average, we have about 25,000 visitors visit the event over the period of 3 days. And at an average, about 220 to 25 exhibitors, they do showcase their product, services, and demonstrations. At an average, we have about 6,500 to 7,000 square meters of event. So most of the international collaborators and our partners, they do bring in their delegation as well as the companies to exhibit in the Indian aquaculture and fisheries scape. And we have had huge success from Australia, New Zealand, and recently from the Europe as well. So we look forward to have some collaboration with Israel through this event. Apart from the AquaX India, we have 2 different supportive platforms. One is the Fishery News and the LDF India. Fishery News primarily is a digital platform. This is not just focused for India, but it is a global platform benefiting Indian aquaculture and fisheries. We have a huge connections network, and whether it is knowledge or trade, they both happen through this. And I would encourage most of you to come and have a look at the website, www.fishery.news, for more information. You'll gain a lot of insights through this. We also have a post-harvest event is called LDF India, which is LDF stands for Livestock, Dairy and Fisheries India. We had a huge opportunity to look at what happens once the animals are harvested, then what happens from the farm gate to the customer's plate and everything in between, whether it is processing, value adds, packaging, cold chain, logistics, distribution management, retail, everything put together. This is an event about everything about post-harvest. So the event is being scheduled on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of October this year at High-Tech Hyderabad. I welcome all of you to come and please attend. There is one more event, which is AquaX India, which is our flagship event, which is we are still working with the new government in Andhra Pradesh. So dates are likely to be finalized in 15 to 20 days time. But we have tentatively finalized it will be in the 2nd week of February 2025. And the event is going to be mostly held at Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh in India, which is the Aqua Hub India. So looking at the collaborative opportunity, and we all know that what is Israel's strength towards agriculture and agriculture in terms of technology. So it is an opportunity to kind of for Israeli counterparts to look at the opportunities in India, and maybe we can forge a collaboration to understand, like Dr. Sridhar was saying, the water quality management, feed, production, disease management, everything can be managed through a proper structured approach and the new innovation technology infusion as well. So we look forward for a collaboration with Israeli counterparts through the Israel Trade Mission in Bangalore, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for your time.
If anybody wants to ask any questions to our guests over here, this is an opportunity. I hope that my Israeli colleagues have got a gist of what is going on in the aquaculture industry in India. I would allow myself to say, and to be very blunt, we initiated this with our colleagues in Israel because we feel that there is some type of potential that we can start with. So if there's any questions, please, it's open. The platform is open to you if you'll have any questions.
I would like to ask about aquaculture at sea, not inland, but at sea, at saltwater.
I think I'm going to have to ask my Indian colleagues if they can answer that question with y'all's permission.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think Dr. Sridhar would be the right candidate to answer this.
You're on mute.
Yeah, it is mostly, I'm Haribabu speaking, sir. It is mostly coastal based. Inland is also there parallelly. Most of it is all around the sea coast, but proper mariculture is less. Am I right? Audible?
Yeah, we heard that answer.
Okay, thank you.
If I can ask, first of all, thank you for the time to everyone. But I'm wondering, for example, I'm doing tilapia and I'm experienced with establishing breeding protocols for some species, and I know there are people here doing shrimps or similar. I wonder, like, is there an active initiative for collaboration, for financial support, for intro, or is this just now seeing if there's any general interest? Is there anything, even if not active, but going towards something, how to do introduction between companies and researchers, or anything of such? Like, sorry for being maybe too Israeli, but the applicative side of things, like generating the real connections.
If my
Samir Garu, are you reacting?
that or
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So to answer that question, that we are open for any discussion that you may offer. And if you want to know more about what is happening in India and what could be of your interest, we can provide you a certain report for you to consider. And likewise, we would like to see what you can offer to India, whether you are trying to bring in what the Indian aquaculture and the fishery industry needs, things like technology innovations, or even products or manufacturing machineries, or anything that you may provide to Indian aquaculture systems. That is very welcome. And if you're looking at that to take something from India like shrimp or tilapia or any other species, or you're looking for a contract farming in India, we're open to discuss those as well. We can help you, put the right kind of companies and the practitioners to collaborate with you.
And may I also jump in on that, please, especially to my Israeli colleagues. The economic mission in Bangalore and also my colleagues in Delhi and Mumbai, our services that we provide is to assist Israeli companies. It could be on the academic level also, although the academic level is dealt with by my colleagues also from the Foreign Ministry. However, on a business to business platform, we will be only too happy to assist you, definitely with our colleagues, Keren and Roni. So if you have any specific requests that you feel that we could assist, and I'm going to say this, the 4 states of southern India, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, all quite large from what I've seen in the data in aquaculture. So apart from the other states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, and West Bengal, they're all states. So if there is any specific interest, or if you feel that we could be of service in that area, please feel free to contact us directly or through Keren and Roni. I hope that answered your question, Jakob from Volcani.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kobe. Thank you, Joey. I would like to say just one more thing. We are already planning the next webinar in which the Israeli companies will have the chance to offer their technologies to the clients in India. So if anybody is interested in presenting his solution or a partnership, you are more than welcome to connect us.
May I just add on to what has been discussed in response to the last query in question? Diversification of aquaculture in terms of introduction of commercially viable species is very high on the agenda of aquaculture development in the country. So when you specifically mentioned tilapia, tilapia is the most traded fish in the world. However, because of our over-reliance upon Indian major carps and common carps, we probably are lagging behind in that. Now, the government of India is also very ambitiously targeting the introduction of species like the tilapia and all other species which add value to the entire aquaculture sector. This has been expressly stated in the latest annual report of the Department of Fisheries of the government of India. And so is included in the same report is introduction of emerging and new technologies and looking for collaborations for introduction of technologies to address the issue of, number one, diversification of species, number two, management of resources, especially water, and number three, addressing the issue of very low productivity. So there is a huge scope for this collaboration, but we have to be very clear as to what we want from you and what you are offering us, and that is where this kind of a dialogue will be very, very important. Right now we are talking in general terms. Then we have to have a dialogue on the specifics. This is the species, this is the technology, this is how it is going to help each other. Maybe Samir, you could share a copy of the annual report or the extracts from it, which are relevant to our discussion today.
Certainly, I'll do that. I'll share with Veshala for the Banglor mission so that they can distribute to all the participants.
And a copy of the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. It's a very ambitious scheme in terms of how to develop the entire gamut of fisheries resources and how to fisheries wealth. In fact, that is what the scheme is called.
Correct. Certainly, we'll do that. Thank you, sir.
One point, sir, with your permission, that as proposed by the next webinar, offering the technological opportunities available from the side of Israel helps a lot for matching programs. A lot of startups are available in India in terms of artificial intelligence and pond water quality measurements, auto feeder systems. Those things can be matched appropriately whenever they have the offer from Israeli technologies are available. Definitely, that's my impression, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Can I ask, thank you again for the webinar. Again, with the side of the investors, do you have investment in new aquaculture facilities? For instance, my company is specializing in seahorses.
Yes, seahorse is not so popular and nowhere it is heard by the people, but unless the commercial potential is educated, people may come forward.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no more questions, with y'all's permission, allow me to thank my distinguished guest. You will allow me to say that. Dr. Tarun, Professor Haribabu, and Samir, thank you again. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, hearing about the aquaculture. I would like to say thank you to Keren and Roni in particular. Thank you for organizing this with us. And definitely a big thanks to all our Israeli companies for giving me their time. Please connect with us. If you'll have anything on the table, we will be happy to organize any type of event that will be serve the business interests of India and Israel together. So thank you, Keren. Thank you, Roni. Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Dr. Tarun, and thank you, Dr. Haribabu. We appreciate the time that you've given to us. And maybe we'll see a few Israeli companies in India too, or even the other way around.